I need you to turn in your books to page 59. Okay? Now, what it has on page 59 is it has things you may assume, things you may not assume based on the diagrams. So we're going to read through those in class. Things you may assume. You may assume that lines are straight, and if two lines intersect, they intersect at one point. You may also assume that points on a line are collinear, and that all points shown in a diagram are coplanar, unless planes are drawn to show that they are non-coplanar. Things you may not assume. You may not assume that points on a line are collinear, and that all points shown in a diagram are coplanar, unless planes are drawn to show that they are non-coplanar. Wait, I just skipped that, didn't I? Okay, let's go back. Sorry, I read the wrong one. Sorry. Things you may not assume. You may not assume that just because two lines or segments look parallel that they are parallel. So if they look like they're parallel, it doesn't count. They have to be marked parallel. You may not assume that two lines are perpendicular just because they look perpendicular. They must be marked perpendicular. And you may not assume that pairs of angles, segments, or polygons are not necessarily congruent unless they are marked with information that tells you they must be congruent. Okay, so things have to be labeled. So let's go ahead and look up here on the board. It says in the diagrams below which pairs of lines are perpendicular. So which pairs of lines are perpendicular?
Line A, B, and C.
What?
Oh, perpendicular.
Line
Not
JK and line MJ.
Line JK and line MJ. Those are perpendicular. Are there any other ones? No. Okay, it doesn't matter that they look perpendicular. They have to be marked perpendicular. Which pairs of lines are parallel? AB and CD. Once again, because those are the only ones that are marked. Which pair of triangles is congruent?
Triangle UTS and triangle XYZ. No, triangle CXY.
Okay, US is congruent to ZX. Okay, ST is congruent to XY, and UT is congruent to ZY. All right, so those are the triangles that are congruent. All right, with that in mind, here are the definitions, and I'm going to see how close you actually were. But these are the textbook definitions. A right triangle is a triangle with exactly one right angle. So did anybody have that? So this is probably what you should have down in your notes. You should have noticed when you did that, okay, that a right triangle is a triangle with exactly one right angle. An acute triangle is a triangle with three acute angles. And an obtuse triangle is a triangle with exactly one obtuse angle. Okay, let's go and look at the next slide. Scalene triangle is a triangle with no congruent sides. An equilateral triangle is a triangle with three congruent sides. Ready? Okay, an isosceles triangle is a triangle with at least, notice those words, at least two congruent sides. Now, a little bit about isosceles triangles is you need to write down that diagram right there that labels things because those are kind of important to know. I'll let you get that down and then we'll talk about it. Okay, we have our two congruent sides here. They are labeled, right? And so those are our congruent sides. Now, if you notice, the angles opposite those sides. Oh, that's a bad one. Let's undo that one. Okay, I'll just look here. The angles opposite those sides are what are known as the base angles. Okay, those are the base angles. The base is located between those sides. Basically, the base is the side that isn't one of the congruent sides. And then we call this the vertex angle. Questions? Pretty straightforward. There's your assignment. Pages 62 through 63, 1 through 24, and 26. Now what I need you to do is get out your assignment from yesterday. I'm going to go around and pick those up, and you've also got a quiz. So this assignment is due tomorrow.